Hey, to all my female baggage droppers out there, I have a question for you. Do you like gold or silver? Well, at Brienne and Company Jewelry Store, you can find anything that you like. That's right. Brienne and Company is a jewelry boutique that has durable minimalist jewelry. She uses genuine pearls, local shells and sea glass, natural gemstones, and of course, precious metals. And these are all quality handcrafted designs by Brienne Light herself. Go and visit her at her website, brienneandco.com, or go to her Instagram that's always popping at Brienne and Company. Thanks, Brienne. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and all my baggage droppers around the world, welcome to another episode of the Drop Your Baggage podcast. With me, your host, the self-talk engineer, Charles Woolfork. And if you are on YouTube and Facebook, please consider giving a brother a thumbs up and subscribe. And if you are on any podcast platform, give a brother 5 stars and give me some feedback as well. Go ahead and subscribe to my channel. This is a show where I talk to people that are dope, that can give you hope and teach you a technique that can help you cope. And now, ladies and gentlemen, I bring to you a beautiful, beautiful queen right here, Tomina Ward. She is from Danville, Illinois, and left for the Marine Corps at 20 years old. There she was a military occupational specialty with coaching and counseling Marines and spent the last 20 years in the military. She created an app called Black Therapy Love, and it connects Black therapists to Black people. And now she's a communication and life coach, helping people show up in their business and their lives, helping people develop their voices with speaking. But she has two very other important jobs, ladies and gentlemen. She has been married for 17 years. That's right. She's a wife and the mother of two outstanding kids, a boy and a girl. Ladies and gentlemen, I bring to you Tomina Ward. What's up, Tamina?
Hey, that was an amazing, amazing introduction, my brother.
Well,
I appreciate
I was only speaking the truth. That's all I'm saying.
that. And if anyone is listening and wasn't hyped by that intro, I'm just saying it's time to get up. It's time to go. Let's go.
so, so
Well,
silly.
thank you so much, first off, for having me on your show. I appreciate being a part of wonderful podcasts such as this, being able to speak to amazing individuals such as yourself. It gives me great pleasure and joy to be here. Thank you so much, bro. I appreciate it.
Please believe that the pleasure is all mine. And for myself and all of my listeners out there, thank you so much for your service in the military and joining the Marine Corps. We really appreciate you protecting us and just sacrificing that time and energy for
Mhm.
the country. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, no, hey, it is a selfless duty,
Mm.
but once we're in and when we're in there, we know that it becomes our purpose, and we're grateful and we're happy to serve our country. So we appreciate the support of everyone that does support the military. We definitely need it, and there's plenty of sacrifices. You use that word greatly. I appreciate it because there are plenty of sacrifices that the military members make every single day. We hear the saying, freedom is not free, and I absolutely believe it. And I know because I've experienced some of it. So thank you. I'd like to introduce myself. Yes, my name is Tomina Ward, born and raised from a very small town called Danville, Illinois. Very proud of it, very proud of where I'm from. So I grew up in a single parent home, and I was determined to make something of myself. Growing up, of course, the narrative is college degree, college degree. You have to get a degree in order to be someone or to make something happen in your life. And being from a single parent home, we didn't have the money, we didn't have the funds for me to go and pay for college. So I was an assistant manager at Foot Locker, working in the Indianapolis, Indiana store, one of the stores in there. And there's a recruiter that came in, and he was talking that good talk, and he also mentioned education. So, knowing that the Marine Corps, the military, would help me to reach my education goals, that was my reason for joining the Marine Corps. So, I was able to get my degree because I knew the benefits, great benefits. And that was my main reason for joining. And yeah, I didn't see myself spending 20 years in the Marine Corps, but I found my purpose while in the Marine Corps. So I kept going, and that's what motivated me to keep going with that.
So what school did you end up going to, and what degree did you graduate with?
So I went to Park University, very military friendly school. It's out of Missouri. And I have my degree in human resources and management. Hmm.
Oh wow! So you were just ready to run companies and do the things since you were out of college. When did you graduate? Since you had to serve, and how did that work with you being like serving in the military and going to school at the same time?
Yes, so that's not the norm that, people go to school and do 4 years and finish their degree in 4 years. When you're in the military, we have a lot of other obligations. So it took me some time to actually graduate. A few years back, I got my degree, finally finished it up. We have deployments and detachments and other things that we do. So sometimes it takes us a bit longer to get our degree, but we have that perseverance and that determination to get it done. And that's what I came for. So believe me, I definitely walked out the Corps with what I came in for prior to. So very grateful for the benefits. Um, I loved that decision that I made. That
Amen.
decision helped to mold me into the strong person that I am today. So this is not a military ad or Marine Corps ad. However, if you are looking for direction, if you are looking for assistance, if you're looking for a place of belonging that you really can't find anywhere else, you can definitely find it in the Marine Corps and some of the other branches of service. So it's unbelievable.
What helped you find all those things in the Marine Corps?
Having good leaders. Oh my goodness. And because I had good leaders, I became a good leader. I was promoted every time I was up for promotion. Some of us get passed over for promotion, maybe some things that they didn't do right or some things that they didn't learn, but I was blessed to have great leaders that took me under their wing, that taught me what they knew, that spoke life into me at times when I was down, when I may have been frustrated or discouraged. So having those people in my life, which is why it's so important to have good people around you anyway, good people like you. You're speaking life into people with what you're doing in your podcast and your purpose. So I became good because good people poured into me in the Marine Corps.
Besides them pouring into you, what else made them good leaders?
Fairness, dignity, being able to walk the walk, not only talk the talk. Sometimes you run into people and they tell you what to do, and then 5 minutes later, you're like, wait, but you just told me, right? When we talk about being a leader, it starts with setting the example. So not only did I hear what they said, I saw what they did, and I was able to emulate my actions off of some of the things that they did, like, taking care of people, showing up even after hours. That's what that means, is being there when, people don't think that you're going to be there the most.
Right. So showing up, and being having integrity.
Mm.
That's super important. So, like, when you were in the military, you were a military occupational specialist or specialty. You said specialty, yes?
That's the specialty. Yeah, that's our job. My job was a career counselor.
So, like, with you being a career counselor, what exactly did you do for the Marines that came into your office?
So I helped to motivate them. I helped to push them. We were counselors, so not only did we deal with their jobs, but we also helped to deal with their personal lives. So Marines would come in, and I dealt with retention. So we were all about doing the paperwork to make sure that they stayed in the Marine Corps. We helped them to get to certain duty stations like Hawaii, like where you are, because it's cool and everyone wants to go to Hawaii or Japan. So I was I was a catalyst in between the Marine and higher echelon as far as getting them help with what they were trying to do, keeping them, the good ones, retained in the Marine Corps, and just encouraging them to that, the Marine Corps could still provide what they were looking for if they stayed in the Corps. So a bit of coaching, a bit of mentoring, a bit of counseling, some motivation when they needed it. So just being a part of their lives and helping them to make those good decisions.
As I told you earlier on when we first met, I was a teacher, middle school teacher, and also an athletic director. And I found that seeing or guiding a child through the years of school was one of my biggest joys, to be able to sometimes take them by the hand and guide them through something, but also show them a way, and give them different paths, or maybe shift their mindset in a certain way with different ideas and consciousness.
Yes.
What was the most rewarding thing for you as you were that MOS?
I think the most rewarding thing for me, and there was a lot, so I'm trying to narrow it down to one.
Tell them all. It's all good. Tell it.
You know, sometimes when you have young people, and of course the military has a lot of young people because they don't have much direction. Some of them are still trying to find themselves and find out what they really want to do with their future and with their lives. But to be able to help them discover some of their inner gifts, there was some of them that walked around and you could just see that they were strong, that they had the mental strength inside, and to be able to speak life into some of those that didn't realize that they could do certain things themselves. Like drill instructor duty is one of the toughest duties. That's when you actually go in and train the recruits. You're there at 4 o'clock in the morning, all the way till 5, 6 in the evening. So long hours, no sleep, lack of food, right? But the impact that they're making on those young men and women that are joining the Marine Corps is immeasurable. So there were plenty of times where I would see that in certain Marines and see that in certain people. Like, I see the drill instructor in you. I see you. You're going DI, right? And I'm like, oh no, Master Sergeant, I couldn't do that. I don't want to. No, I see you as a drill instructor. I see the way you carry yourself. I see the inspiration that you have for what you do. I see how you could make such a difference in the future lives of others. So I think being able to speak that into some of the Marines that didn't see it for themselves, that right there was one of the most rewarding experiences that I had and that I'll never forget, because when they did go ahead and listen and do and act on my guidance, they realized that they did have it all along. So, yeah.
That is beautiful. That is beautiful. Like, so the life that your mentor has spoken to you, you did the same with those Marines that came into your office as well.
Mhm,
That is
mhm.
beautiful. Now we talked about some of those sacrifices that you made throughout, or we said that you have made some sacrifices throughout those 20 years in the military. What were some of those sacrifices that you have made? Just so we can also get an appreciation for just a glimpse of what you all go through, and the hardships of it all.
I thank you for this question, because a lot of times we go through our careers and we don't share some of these struggles. We don't share some of the struggling times that we go through. One of my biggest ones was I deployed in 2005, and I left a week after my daughter's first birthday. So she had 4 baby teeth in her mouth when I left. I deployed for for 8 months, almost 8 months. And when I came back, she didn't know me. She didn't know who I was. She had been raised by her father for that time when I was gone. And when I got home and looked in those little eyes, I had to coerce her to come and hug me, because she wasn't sure, hey, Dad, who is this lady, right? And even after a couple of days of being home, she's like, I think I know who this is. And yes, she saw pictures. However, you lose that connection when you leave for so long and you have to reintegrate yourself back into the lives of your family. So that was very, very tough for me as a mother, to leave her at such a young age, and then to not even know if I was going to make it back to her being deployed. We were bombed regularly over there. So that was pretty tough. There were many nights where I cried myself to sleep, missing my child. But that was definitely one of the biggest sacrifices that I made while during my 20-year career.
Dang. And like, so throughout that time of you building that relationship with your daughter, How long did it take before you guys finally gained that relationship back where she was like, oh yeah, I love this person, you know?
Right. I'd say probably about maybe about 3 to 4 weeks,
Okay.
something like that. You know, kids are they're so resilient.
Yeah. Yeah.
But she was so young, her
Hmm.
memory, she didn't, you know, I think this is mom, not sure if this is mom, I don't know who this lady is. So
Hmm.
it took a little bit, but and it was a little hurtful at first,
Hmm.
but it took a little bit, yeah, and we got right back into the swing of things once I got home.
Amen.
Yeah.
The so you talk about having that distance away from your family just isn't your daughter, but of course your husband. And how did you all like what was communication like between you all? And how did you guys overcome that obstacle of the distance and the time that you all had from one another?
Yeah, so communication back then was a lot of email, a lot. Sometimes we were able to do video teleconferencing, not too much. And look, I bless some of the other military members that weren't even able to do that. You know, so based off of where you were over there, you had little to no communication when it comes to being able to speak with your family back home. So I had access to a computer, so we emailed quite often. We did do VTC here and there, but
Wait,
that
wait, wait, wait. You just can't go over an acronym and not explain it to us. I'm sorry.
VTC just video teleconferencing. You know us and acronyms.
I know it's just throwing them out. MOS, BTC, like wait, what was that again?
And I'm working on deprogramming myself. We are so programmed in everything we do, and especially coming out of the military. But so we had a little BTC here and there. Um, but that distance is a different distance than just a regular long distance relationship, you know. This distance is a life and death type, I'm not sure if I'm gonna make it back to you type distance. So the conversations are different. You know, the some of the insecurities that we go through when we're in long distance relationships, you know, other worries, minor worries and pettiness that we deal with. When you have a military member that is overseas like that, it's a different type of conversation. It's a I love you conversation all throughout. It's a I need you conversation. I appreciate you conversation. So it's different languaging when you're separated by a regular long distance relationship. And we
Uh,
made it through. It was tough. It was definitely tough, you know, because I respected him for being a single parent, raising a 1 year baby. Look, we already didn't know what we were doing together. So now you're gonna separate us? So, you know, he had to be a single father. So I had to make sure that I was affirming him and the job that he was doing along the way as well. So it was tough, but we did it.
Sounds like you guys had a whole lot of gratitude and appreciation.
Yeah,
Appreciation for one another and that gratitude for what you all do for one another. That's
yeah,
beautiful. You
yeah,
know, you talk about distance makes the heart grow fonder. Well, also it's those there's life and death situations, like you said, they also make the heart grow fonder.
absolutely.
I definitely I had a little brother that passed away in 2013, and while he was going through his battle with cancer, I hadn't like loved him and paid that much
Yes,
attention to anybody, not just him, to anybody, you know,
yes,
throughout my whole life, you know. So it's that thing to where if you don't know when the last day that you're gonna have a conversation with someone, you appreciate every single one of them.
yes, yes. That's good.
That is beautiful for
Yeah.
sure.
Mhm.
Now you come back over and you create an app. You are a woman of service through and through. So you create an app called Black People Therapy that connects Black therapists to Black people. Tell us about that and that idea and that execution of how you did that.
Yeah. So it was many years later. I'd say probably about 3 or 4 years ago. You know, and we we have mental health issues. And in the Black community, we have mental health issues, and sometimes we don't prioritize our mental health issues over other things that's important in our lives. As a military member, I have anxiety. My family members have anxiety, bipolar, you know, just you name it, right? And none of my family members had ever sought out a professional therapist. So I wanted to create some sort of system to make it easier, because there's a stigma in every community, in every ethnicity. We sometimes we feel like it's a sign of weakness, but it's a sign of strength to actually ask for help. It's a sign of strength to understand it. It's okay that I'm not okay. And guess what? She's not okay today. He's not okay today. And we can all make it through this together. So I wanted to create a platform to allow the Black community to be able to reach and connect with Black therapists easier, because it's already there with the stigma. We already don't want to find one. And sometimes it can be difficult to find one that understands your background, your dynamics. So you're not having to re-explain some of the cultural trauma that you've already had, because if you find a Black therapist, and you can go ahead and talk to them already, and they already know, look, this is what I've dealt with. Yes, single parenthood. Yes, father wasn't there. Yes, struggle growing up, right?
Lived
So
around drugs and violence.
found
You
drugs.
know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Uh,
Absolutely.
just-
Had, so many strikes against you, had to figure it out on your own. Sometimes you were raising your siblings because one parent was out there. Yes. So there's a lot that we have dealt with, but understanding that our struggles can be our successes. So I wanted to make sure that we had an outlet to be able to reach some Black therapists and connect on that level. So
that is beautiful. Wow. So, I mean, I haven't heard anything about you being a tech genius as of yet. So, how are you able to like create this app and be able to connect these people?
nah, bruh, nah. Now your sister's not a tech genius, okay? So if anybody's listening and they want to talk to the sister about what I need on some other technical stuff, hit me up. So for the listeners, there are plenty of platforms that are out there where you can create an app without coding. And that's what I did. So there are things called apps without codes. There's a platform called Mighty Networks, and that's where the app is being hosted. And you can set up a community, and you can download the app easily on your phone. So it doesn't go in the app stores. You don't have to worry about pop-ups. You can easily send the link to someone, and it can transfer, and they can download it on their phone just by downloading the link. So it's simple, it's easy, and it's inexpensive. So because they know anybody got $60,000, $70,000 right now, and that's really what it costs when you're talking about trying to build an app from scratch with coding.
Yeah. So you've done the research, and
Yeah,
that's the thing, when you want something, especially now with the technology age and the information age, you Google that bad boy, and
yes.
you can definitely be
Hey,
resourceful out there.
Google is
So
your friend.
you say what?
Google is your friend.
Amen to that. Hey, shout out to Google, shout out to YouTube. I love you all out there. Um, so like let us know some stats. How many therapists are on there? How many people have you helped? And when did you establish this app and company again?
Yes, so the app is about 2 years old. There's 6 therapists in there. So I have one in North Carolina, a couple of them out here in Cali, one in Texas. So when you're thinking about a therapist, make sure that you find a therapist that's in your state. If someone tells you over the phone, online, that they can help you from a different state, they have to be certified and have their license through that specific state. So there's about 150 people that are on the app, using the app. And people contact me all the time, and if for some reason they contact me and we don't have a therapist listed in the app, what I'll go on some of the other sites that I'm aware of, and I will help them find a therapist that's in their state. So that way they're still getting help. You can still join the community. We're loving on each other. If you're having a bad day, you come in there for motivation. There's one of the therapists, his name is Damon Avenger. And I tell you, like his memes and the stuff that he posts make you feel charged. Like, okay, that was good. I needed to hear that today. I need to see that today. So yes, that's what it's about. It's about a community. It's about ensuring that we know that, no one is okay all the time, and that's okay. And we can all make it through together.
Amen. Amen. And once again, you all out there, it's called Black Therapy Love. Go ahead and get that app and get some help. You know what I mean? If you're not okay right now, if you're not okay, if you know someone that is not okay, go ahead, upload Black or download Black Therapy Love and connect with someone that's in your state, or connect with Tamina so she can go ahead and get you in touch with someone. Now, you transitioned. You got out of the military and you're like, I need something different. Yeah, but not really different because you're still doing you were an MOS, a military occupational specialty in the military for the Marines. You coaching and counseling the Marines, and now you've transitioned to a communications and life coach, showing people how to show up in their business and in their lives and helping people to develop their voices with speaking. Tell me about this transition that you got into entrepreneurship all of a sudden.
Yes. Yes, yes, and more like that, yes. So transitioning, after spending 20 years coaching and counseling the Marines, I found my purpose. People are my purpose. And that's why I got my degree in HR. And I had even tried to dabble into HR a little bit once I got out. And I ended up in a section that didn't have people. And I was like, wait, human resources, we supposed to, where the human at?
Where the human at though?
Where they at? Because that's what I need. That's what I love. That's what I thrive on. And by helping all the Marines, that gave me my purpose. That made me feel good. That made me feel like I was doing what I was supposed to be doing. That's what God gave me to pour in and to help others. So I definitely didn't want to leave that when I left the Corps. So decided to become a life coach. I'm a certified life coach. And my specialty is communications. We speak to everyone every single day. What the Bible say, hey, the death and life lies in the power of your own tongue. So when we speak life into people. We persuade people to every time it's time for me to go home, I'm, hey mom, that banana pudding that I love that you always make. Hey honey, you think you can hook a sister up? I'll be home soon. Right? So it's just our communication. We don't realize how much of an impact that we have with our words and with our voices. So I wanted to make sure that I continue to walk in my purpose by helping people, and also to help them amplify what's inside of them, being able to speak to their gifts. We have so many unopened gifts. So it's like you're giving us a gift with your podcast, with your voice, with your message, with the people that you bring on. I spoke to some military wives. I was a guest speaker for their little, not little, for their event a couple weeks ago.
Ow.
It was so good. It was so good. I really enjoyed myself. But I was letting them know how much more that they were than just a military spouse. So sometimes we're walking around with all these gifts and we don't realize what we have inside. We got these boxes, big old beautiful boxes with bows and glitter. They're all purple and pink and black or whatever color. And the lids are on. You're so gifted. People come to you all the time and they ask for your advice. You could be consulting, you could be coaching. You're great with kids. Instead of applying to the next daycare, you can start your own daycare. There are so many gifts that we walk around inside, and I wanted to help people pull those out and amplify them and give them to the world. Look, if we have something good, we are obligated to share it, obligated to give it, and obligated to help heal and inspire others with what we have. And that is what I want to do.
You are such an effective motivator and an effective speaker. How did you become like an effective speaker? Because you have no you're not stuttering over your words. How did you become such an effective speaker in the way that you are right now?
Well, thank you. Well, so for one, I taught speaking in the Corps. So that was definitely one thing that I know that I'm good at. That's a gift that God gave me. I love being on the platform. I love speaking to other people. So I've done it pretty much throughout my whole career. So for the past 20 years, in any branch of the military, you're thrown in leadership positions whether you think you're ready or not. You got a brief? Oh yeah, no, so can give it. Oh no, oh, go ahead and let him do it. She can do it. He can do it. So throughout my time, I pushed myself even more to be able to get up on a stage or get on a platform. So that's what that is. Being able to teach it because I taught it in the core, but also it giving me life by doing it. So that motivates me to do it even more.
Outstanding. So, what is one of the main frustrations that your clients have?
One of their main frustrations, a lot of people get nervous, which I think is kind of like that's the norm, right? With a lot of people when they think about public speaking, a lot of people don't realize that they have a story and that their voice really can carry and impact and influence others. We think that just because it was our life, that it won't help to heal someone else. Oh, no, 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 ma'am, no, sir. Yes, because our struggles have brought us together. You and I spoke and we talked about growing up and different things that we've experienced. And after we start talking, I'm like, man, wow, we have a whole bunch in common. And that's just it. When we don't communicate, when we don't talk to people, and I call it below the surface communication. We talk to people on the surface. Hey, how you doing? How you doing? How your mama doing? How your mama doing? But we don't take the time to actually get to know people below the surface. And when we do that, we find that we have so much in common and that our stories are so powerful that we need to share them. We have an opportunity to help to heal and inspire someone. And with your story, you can do that. So you have more to offer. And it starts with who you are with that story.
Being vulnerable and telling people your story is a superpower.
Yes, it is.
In fact, I was influenced. The person that really changed my life was this guy named Dr. Eric Thomas. He also goes by ET, the hip hop preacher, and he tells about how he ate out of garbage cans, how he slept in abandoned buildings, how he was just homeless, and how he like snuck into his girlfriend's room to sleep at her house at night. Like he tells about his struggles,
Yes.
and that makes his ascension to where he is now so much more impressive and so much more important for him to tell, because it inspires folks like myself to get off of my bum and to rise to my potential. But it's not just that, but of course he's one of the most impressive speakers when it comes to speaking life into someone, because he lets you know that truth from a soul level. He's definitely being inspired and by the creator, and the creator comes through him, through
Yes.
his words and his energy. And that's exactly what you can that I'm sure you do with your clients as well.
Absolutely. Hey, he's one of my favorites too. He really, really is. If you are having one of those days, because we all have them, I definitely try and focus on the positive. But there's sometimes when you stub that toe and then you're late for work, or the baby had an accident or something, and it just turns the day like, okay, my goodness, Lord, if it's not one thing, it's another. And you throw some ET on, you put some Dr. Eric Thomas on, and I'm telling you, it would change your spirit. It would change your mindset. And you're right, gratefulness. Just being able to understand that the breath that I'm breathing right now, there's somebody that's not breathing right now. And to be able to put it into perspective, and he's so great at putting those words and putting it on you, that makes you realize that we are blessed by the best. So you know what? I'm good. I'm gonna keep going today. I'm gonna keep going today. Absolutely. Yes, he's good.
Blessed by the best. I love it. I love it. Oh, you got me hyped now. Oh my goodness. So on the Drop Your Baggage podcast, we talk to people that are dope, that can give you hope. but also we teach you a technique that can help you cope. And that technique is a neuro linguistic programming technique called mental and emotional release. For those for the people out there that are in the audience that don't know what neuro linguistic programming it is, I call it a mental martial art. It's a group of techniques that can help you change your perspective and shift your subconscious mind. It's a way that you can communicate with your heart and your subconscious mind in order for you to get what you desire. And with mental and emotional release, we're going to be doing that today. Now, I got to let you all know, if you want to try this technique, please go to a certified practitioner of neurolinguistic programming. And Tamina, I want to let you know that I am not a therapist or a psychiatrist or a psychologist or a social worker. I am just an alternative to all those things to help with mental health. And I just tell you that just for your fair warning. Now, today we are going to get rid, or we're going to drop some baggage today. We're going to drop your baggage today, and we are going to get rid of the fear of the unknown. Please tell us about this fear of the unknown.
Yeah, so with transitioning from the Marine Corps, I know for a fact that I have helped to inspire Marines. I've helped to help them speak better, get on different platforms, to make good decisions. And now that I'm transitioning from the Corps to, we call them civilians, to regular people, to everyone else, the non-military members, I want to make sure that I am able to do the same. So I am still, and I've had clients, but I just want to make sure that I'm serving all of my clients at the highest level possible. So I got the validation from the military members. So now transitioning to the civilian side, that's where the fear of unknown is. I want to make sure that I'm helping them on each level, on the highest level, as I'm transitioning over to the other side.
Amen. So the unknown is, I don't know if I'm doing a good job. Like there's not there's not someone that I have to report to in order to tell me that I've done a good job. And there's also not boxes to check to tell me that I've done a good job.
Exactly. Yes.
Do you see like that you need that type of structure in maybe your business in order for you to kind of validate, like, okay, I did what I was supposed to do in this moment?
Oh, absolutely. You know,
Okay.
and testimonials, you want to get testimonials.
Yeah.
And I do have some of those, of course, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you definitely want to have that, because if you're not doing something right, you need to know about it.
Mm-hmm.
And being an entrepreneur, you have to be vulnerable enough.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be open to honest feedback.
Mm-hmm.
You want to be asking for honest feedback that
Amen.
way, because none of us start off perfect.
Mm-hmm.
And as we grow and go along, the more feedback we get, the more tweaks we can change, and the more that we can help people on a higher level, because we know what we need to fix along the way. So very important to be able to get that feedback. Yes.
100%. So let's go ahead. So how does that affect you in your business, this fear of the unknown?
It affects me, I think I would say with imposter syndrome sometimes.
Yeah.
But not enough to make me quit.
Yeah, of course.
So there's the mental resiliency from the military and the Corps and everything that I've been through.
Yeah.
Has developed me to know that the push and my mission still moves forward, So I think that there's just some imposter syndrome sometimes, like, hey, okay, so I did this with Marines. Who am I now on the other side to help, a corporate CEO or something like that, right? As far as that's concerned.
100%. So it's a different identity that you're going through. You're transitioning to a different identity, something that you have been programmed. Like you say, you're doing a reprogramming on yourself. You've been programmed for this for the last 20 years. And now it's like going over to this other space. And it's like, I know I got the juice. Yes. I know that I could, I'm an effective communicator. You're being coached by the best of the best too. Shout out to Myron Golden out there. What's up? the coach of coaches out there.
Coach of coaches.
So you're being coached by the coach of coaches out there, and you know that you have all the skills, all the ability, all the resources. It's just about like, okay, but and that one BUT, is knocking your butt on his knocking you on your butt. The
Yeah,
the it's the doubt.
yeah,
And that small amount of doubt can cause a bit of anxiety.
yes.
It can cause a not a
Frustration.
frustration like no other, right? What else?
Yeah.
What else does it cause?
Um, Slight discouragement at times. Until I regroup. I have to, recenter, like, you know what, no, you got this. And I found myself more here lately stating and saying to myself, I can do this. I can do this. Just those 4 words, I can do this. And I find myself saying it by myself in front of my husband. I'm like, I can do this. And he vowed, yes, you can, babe. You got this. Yes. So, when that discouragement comes through, I start talking to myself, I start having that conversation, that reaffirming myself along the way too. So it happens.
Let's foreshadow a little bit. How do you think it's going to feel to silence that negative voice in your mind? I'm a self-talk engineer. I help people get rid of that negative self-talk, release that negative self-talk
Mhm.
so they can reach their highest potential. What do you think life is going to look like, and how do you think it's going to feel when that voice is put on mute?
Oh yeah, when that voice is put on mute, bro. Oh my goodness. There's no, the doubts, the little small insecurities that try and creep in. That's when you kick them to the curb. Like, not today. Not today, Satan. Not today. And we're gonna spell that Tuday. Not today. You can go ahead with that. Ain't nobody got time for that. Where's Sweet Brown at? Right?
Yeah, I love it. Well, let's go ahead and get rid of that fear of the unknown today. So with the mental and emotional release process, it's a simple, systematic, guided meditation. You all you have to do are 3 things. Number one, you got to use your imagination. Number two, you got to follow directions, which with your military background, I'm sure you're very good at. And number three, you have to trust the process. Know that I'm your guide and I'm here to love, and I'm going to be leading you through this easily and effortlessly.
Mhm.
Awesome. Now we've created a timeline, I believe. Your past can be to your left, to your right, or behind you. If you were to know, where's your past?
Passes behind me.
Where's your future?
My future is in front of me.
Perfect. Now let's go ahead and get into it. Is it all right with your unconscious mind for you to release this fear of the unknown today and for you to be aware of it consciously?
Yes.
Awesome. What is the root cause of this problem? The first events which, when disconnected, that will cause this problem to disappear. If you were to know, when was the first time that you felt the fear of the unknown when you were just a little girl?
Um, I would say probably. You say what age or what experience?
Both.
Probably when we moved into my uncle's house because we were evicted from our apartment. Um, and I think that was around 13.
Can we go even younger than that? Let's go even younger. Let's go like third grade and younger, 8 or younger, 7, 8, 7, 8 years old.
Probably when I didn't know I guess if my dad was going to come back into my life.
Hmm.
And that was around, I was young, probably around age 4, 5, something like that.
Perfect. Do
Yeah.
you have a specific event in mind where you felt that way?
Events,
Yeah.
um, holidays,
It's a good one.
holidays, Christmas,
Christmas.
when I didn't get phone calls or I didn't get, it was never about the gifts. It
Yeah.
was never about the material support. I needed the emotional support. So that's what I didn't receive. And
Hmm.
I would say the holidays were when they kind of showed up more than not.
100%. His presence was the present.
His presence was the presence.
100%. That's a good one. So let's go ahead and get into it. You can go ahead and close your eyes and relax and let me know when you're ready to drop your baggage.
Okay.
Awesome. Now, just imagine floating up above your timeline and float deeper and deeper and deeper into the past, above that first event in which you first felt that fear of the unknown when you were just a little girl and it was a holiday. And hover above that little girl, seeing her from a third person point of view. Let me know when you can see that event.
I can see it.
Now stay right there, don't move. Now just ask your unconscious mind what it needs to learn from the event, the learning of which will allow you to let go of the emotions easily and effortlessly. Your unconscious mind can preserve the learnings so that if you need them in the future, they'll be there. Just tell your unconscious mind to preserve the learnings. This is an exercise of forgiveness and acceptance, forgiveness for yourself and others, and acceptance of yourself and others. Who do you have to forgive? What do you have to accept? Who do you have to accept? Focus your attention upon how hurt people hurt people. We're all doing the best that we can with the resources and consciousness that we have. We can't control anyone else's actions, but we can control our response. In fact, we can grow stronger and wiser and learn from their actions and mistakes. Other people's actions have nothing to do with you. It's only a reflection of their baggage or whatever they're going through at the time. And we're better people than we were when those events occurred. You're a better person than you were when those events occurred. What is something positive and empowering you can tell yourself as that little girl and your father and everyone else involved in the event with the consciousness that you have today that will allow the emotions to evaporate like water on the concrete on a hot summer day? And as you preserve these learnings, the emotions are starting to dissipate more and more until they're all gone. Just let me know when they're all gone. Awesome. Now, with your eyes closed and you looking at the event, tell me, what did you learn from the event?
I learned that my father not being there was not my fault.
Mm-hmm.
Regardless, I am loved
Mm-hmm.
and I deserve to be loved.
Mm-hmm.
I learned that comparing my life with my friends' lives wasn't the best thing for me.
Mm-hmm.
They had their fathers in their lives.
Mm-hmm.
I would compare my life quite often.
Mm-hmm.
I learned that the hurt that I had allowed me to be who I am today.
Mm-hmm.
I learned that my father isn't perfect. My mother isn't perfect.
Mm-hmm.
That I'm grateful for their mistakes because I was able to learn from their mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
And that little girl, that little chocolate girl is beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
And
That, that's right. That's right. Now, just imagine floating up above your timeline and float deeper and deeper and deeper into the past, above the dinosaurs during the prehistoric age. Let me know when you're there. Now, as you're above the dinosaurs, float deeper and deeper into space to where space and the atmosphere connects. And imagine your timeline is the size of a fingernail. Let me know when you're there. Now, just imagine floating there, weightless, in space. And ask yourself now, where are the emotions? Tell me, are they there or have they disappeared? Now, awesome. Now, just imagine floating down inside the event, seeing through your own eyes and check on the emotions. Tell me, are they there or have they disappeared? Now,
disappeared.
awesome. Float back above the dinosaurs and then float into space to where space and the atmosphere connects. Let me know when you're there. Listen closely. Float very, very high above your timeline, above each and every event in which you felt that fear of the unknown from birth until now in chronological order. Don't skip any event that has a charge on it. Preserve the learnings and let go of that fear of the unknown all the way back to now. Go. That's right. You can go ahead and float down into your body and open your eyes when you're ready. Mm. Welcome back.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. What's that about? What you okaying about over there?
Okay. All right.
Hmm?
I like that. I like that.
What do you like about it?
It just allows you to be present with some of the hurt and the pain and realize that it's not hurting you or causing you that pain right here, right now.
Mm-hmm.
And especially with my father, that's been a long process that I've had to grow through as I've learned throughout the years. And even when you reiterate that, hey, they're doing the best they can, and no one's perfect, and hurt people, remember that it allows that perspective to be put in there, and it allows you to forgive you, because you're just we're not a perfect human being. So you've made mistakes and probably unintentionally hurt people. Speaking of myself, right? So understanding how it's important to forgive others helps you to understand how important it is to forgive you. So yeah.
100. 100. So let's go ahead and test it out. Can you smell bacon?
Can I smell bacon?
I asked that question to get your mind off the meditation. Like, can I smell bacon?
I wish I smelled some bacon.
I know, right? Can you remember a time in the past in which you used to feel that old emotion, that old fear, and see if you can find that old emotion, or you may find that you cannot.
No.
Mm. Good stuff. I want you to imagine going out into the future, to an unspecified time in the future, in which, if it would have happened in the past, you would have felt the fear of the unknown. But it's the future now. So see if you can find that old emotion, or you may find that you cannot.
No. Yeah.
Congratulations. You just released a bunch of fear.
Mm-hmm. That's good.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So those perspective changes that are shifts that you were talking about earlier, what other perspective shifts that did you need in order to get rid of this fear of the unknown?
Um, I'd say the understanding of love. I think we put our own expectation and definition on what we think that looks like.
Yeah.
And when we get let down along the way, which I have been let down along the way, um, I think I built a wall up, because it's like, that's not love. That's my definition. My definition of love doesn't match your actions, or you leaving me, or you not calling me, or letting me know that you love me. So understanding and kind of going back into the expectations that we have as a people sometimes, and how we give those labels to other people in our lives. um, it's important to take a step back sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah, the it kind of built. It seems like it built a bit of empathy and compassion for yourself to others, and for
Yeah.
yourself as well.
Mm,
Which, in the long run, that empathy is what's needed to in order to be patient with
mhm.
other people, in order to be in order for you to allow someone to go through whatever they need to go through in order to grow.
Yes, absolutely.
I mean,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
and also it's a challenge. It gives us a challenge to make sure that we communicate effectively, especially when it comes to love.
When it comes to love, when it comes to relationships, when it comes to our own being,
Comes to
if we
business,
communicate business,
hmm
everything, it's
everything.
so important. I did an IG live the other day about teaching others, or no, teaching yourself how to treat yourself.
Mm,
We don't
mm,
even treat ourselves good.
real
So we
talk.
have to teach ourselves how to treat ourselves better.
Yeah,
And we have to communicate with ourselves positively,
yeah,
not negatively,
yeah.
as well as communicating with others. You're absolutely right.
hmm
Absolutely right.
hmm
Yes.
what how do you tell us about your perspective when it comes to your business now, and um the lack of confidence that you had before?
Yeah. So I definitely enjoyed this exercise.
hmm
It allows me to understand that, the mistakes along the way are going to be good. They're
mm
every L is a lesson.
hmm
And when you look at it like a positive lesson, you don't see it as an L. That's the different perspective that you're able to place on it now,
hmm
after understanding we're imperfect people. Things happen. We learn and grow along the way. So now, even more so in my business, I'm going to do the best that I can. I'm going to serve at the highest level that I can.
hmm
I will make mistakes along the way. I'll forgive myself. I'll forgive others, but I'm going to show up for you. I'm going to show up for them, and I'm going to show up for me.
hmm You talked about a desire for validation of some sorts earlier. Like, you want to tell us more about that now that you've gone through the meditation, if your perspective has changed or not.
Oh, validating with the new niche of people.
Mm,
Um,
mm,
I would say a little, for sure.
yeah,
Um, of course, more will come with more testimonials, and once I get more toes in the water, of
yeah.
course. Yeah. But at the end of the day, the mistakes, I'm going to accept them when I make them. So, um, and that'll happen the more that I help even more people.
the I see that, due to your body language, the scratch behind the ear and closing of the arms, I see that there's more to the meets the eye on that. I know that the fear of the unknown goes hand in hand with business. I've guided myself through the mental and emotional release process on many a days when I didn't get any leads and I wasn't getting the income that I desired to come in. I In my professional opinion, I think it also comes to with this new niche and you waiting for those testimonials to come in. It may be the fear of not being good enough as of yet.
Oh yeah, yeah,
That
absolutely.
that's also one of the ones that we can let go of together as well. Yeah,
Absolutely,
yeah,
absolutely. Yeah.
because it's just that imposter syndrome comes from that. It's like, am I that good? Am I good enough to be this coach? Am I good enough to lead that CEO, that executive, that person to the place where from the place that they are now to where they want to go?
Yeah.
I know with me not meeting my father, I took the I'm not good enough became into so many different places within my life, on every aspect of my life, whether it come to athletically, mentally, emotionally, within a relationship, within a friendship, and especially within my career and within my business. It's a monster. It is a monster. You know, um, I can't wait to help you out with that one as well.
Cool
Yeah.
beans.
Oh yeah, I got you. I got you. I,
We family. We
oh
family.
oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I told my business.
What is it? Hey, what you say now?
I said we family. We're all
Oh,
family.
oh yes, oh
Mhm.
yes, and just like family, I got your back. I got your back.
Yeah.
I want to see you walk in more. I want to see you see God walk through you more and more all the time as time goes on. And for me to expedite that process, and for you to work with Myron and for all that to come together, oh, like you're already unstoppable. Let's just make you into that juggernaut that you truly are.
Absolutely.
Let's
For
get it.
sure.
Let's get it. Let's get it. Any other so like where do you see your life now without this one fear, this fear of the unknown? Where do you see your life going without that fear and that bit of doubt?
Definitely continue. So I love being on the platform speaking. Like I
Mm-hmm.
said, I did a speaking engagement a couple of weeks ago. So I definitely see more speaking
Mm-hmm.
engagements in my future, more podcasts in my future. Just being able to spread my message
Yeah.
even more in my future. Looking forward to diving in even more head first.
Mm.
It's a journey. It's a journey. So I'm definitely looking forward to more of the journey.
Gosh, that's amazing. Well, thank you so much for showing up for your divine appointment. I am so blessed with all my heart and soul. I mean this, like that you have been on the podcast. Thanks again for your service. And please give the people out there one more bit of advice.
Yeah, so I think that the more that you sit and be present, just like today, and you mentioned it earlier, being present with your presence, which is what I needed from my father, of course.
Hmm.
But sometimes we can be on the go so much
Hmm.
that we don't stop and realize the power that we have when we pause. There is power in your pause for your productivity. So when you
Yes.
stop, you take a moment, you take life in, you take your blessings in, you take your lessons in.
Hmm.
It will supercharge you for your future. So soak it up, be grateful, and let God love and bless on you and trust the process.
Amen. The creator's always great. And so thank you, Tamina, and thank you all out there for your attention and your support and your love. I love each and every one of you out there. If you are on Facebook and YouTube, please consider hitting the like and subscribe button. If you're on the podcast platform, subscribe and give a brother 5 stars and some feedback. You all take care of you out there, yourselves out there. Until the next episode, take care of yourself and take care of one another. Peace.